Dylan from Fish For You here. Today we're going to be going over a video telling you everything you need to know about caring for and breeding Neocaridina shrimp. Alright, so these are the benefits of keeping shrimp in your aquarium. It's going to keep your plants and your tank clean, going to give you something extra to look at. Some fish may eat some of the babies, so it's going to give them extra protein. A little bit of money on the side if you sell them or trade. A lot of people would love to have shrimp, and if you have them, they're going to be willing to buy them or trade for them. You can also keep them in small tanks, so people that can't keep big tanks, if you want to have a little 5-gallon on the side, shrimp would love that. I did just want to mention that this video is talking about Neocaridina shrimp. Another common species of shrimp in the freshwater hobby is Caridina. They're completely different. They require different water parameters, different temperatures, and this video is only referencing Neocaridina, which are your cherry shrimp, your blue dream shrimp, your green jade shrimp, things like that. The water parameters for these shrimp are 68 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit, pH of 6.5 to 8.0, 7.2 being optimal, GH of 7 to 15, KH of 2 to 10, and TDS of 180 to 400. Now, the most important thing for these shrimp are stable water parameters, meaning you don't want to do overly excessive water changes. I would recommend like 20, 30, 40% at max. You don't have to do them as often, especially if it's a shrimp only tank. And you just want to make sure that you're not trying to mess with the water parameter. An example being if you're trying to raise the pH, but then you do a water change and it all of a sudden drops again, the shrimp are going to freak out and die. When you get a bag of shrimp from the store, from a breeder, from us at www.fishforyou.com, this is what it'll look like. So we want to take that bag of shrimp and we're going to cut the bag or just open the bag up. I find cutting is the easiest way. Once we have the bag cut, we're going to go ahead and pour the shrimp into a container. You can do it in the bag, but a container is more rigid. It's going to stand up for you, so go ahead and pour those into a container. Make sure you get all the shrimp out of the bag. The next thing we're going to do is drip acclimate them. So you can see here I'm using a syringe. You can use a syringe. You can use some airline tubing tied. They do make drip acclimator kits, or you can just use like a cup or a shot glass and pour a little bit in. But we want to do that over the course of an hour. So cut to an hour later, you can see there's a lot more water in the cup. The shrimp are looking nice and healthy. They're colored up. They're not jumping around. We're going to add them into the tank here. A lot of people always ask us, well, what food do you feed them? Here you can see them grazing on the bottom, on some plant matter, on the wood. You can see them grazing on just about anything. So the real answer is you can feed the shrimp nothing at all. You can feed them a little bit of flake. We have shrimp sticks here. We actually got these ones from Land to Lake Aquatics. You can feed them just about anything. One thing to note though is if you have algae in your tank or something that you want them to clean, don't feed them as much or they will eat the other food instead of doing what you want them to. The one really good thing about shrimp is the size of their tank that they can be in. A lot of people want these real small aquariums, but they want to keep these fish that have to stay in larger ones. Shrimp, you can keep them in a tank as small as 5 gallons, sometimes even 1 gallon if you're just keeping a few. But the important thing to remember is that when you're first adding shrimp to the tank, you would want to add 1 to 2 shrimp per gallon. So if you have a 10-gallon, throw in 10 to 20 shrimp to get your colony started. Keeping in mind, the more shrimp you add, the more likelihood you have success. Now the question that everyone wants to know, when and how do shrimp breed? You can see in this video here, the shrimp in front of it, that's a female. You can tell by the big underbelly and her tail's pointing downwards. The male's tails typically point up. They're a lot skinnier and less colorful too. But she has a molt in front of her. Most likely that's another shrimp's molt that she's eating, or it's her own and she's eating that. Now, shortly after the female molts, the males and the females will mate, and the female will have what's called a saddle. It'll be that orange thing that you see right behind her head. That's the eggs. They're inside of her right now. She's gonna push them out, and then they'll be what's called buried, and I'll show you what that looks like here. Now this is a buried shrimp. You can see she is holding the eggs underneath her. She's gonna be flipping them, flickering them, making sure they're aerated. That's what a shrimp looks like right before they're about to give birth. Now, they'll carry these eggs and they'll take care of them and basically release the babies out into the water. All you need then are plants or some cover for the babies to hide from any fish or predators that may be in the tank. This is another buried female. You could just see her flapping them around, making sure that they stay clean. That's everything you need to know in order to take care of and breed shrimp. So enjoy some footage of some shrimp. First off, I want to thank you for making it to this part of the video. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.
I'm a flop like a fish. I'm a flop like a